Circuit.com and the director of the Houston Comedy Film Festival. We have our summer 2022 event, and today we're going to interview screenwriter Dawson Roebig. How you doing, Dawson?
Hey, I'm doing great, man. How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. It's a sunny morning. It's Friday. It's the end of my week. I can't wait for the weekend to come, but I've been excited to talk to you for a few days now.
Same, man. I'm excited, and I'm excited for the festival. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We got a lot of great projects coming out. I'm just excited for it. I really am.
Well, congrats on your award nomination for the most competitive category that we have, which is the comedy feature screenplay category. So good job on that.
Thank you. And I just want to say I'm really honored to have it selected as a finalist. It really means a lot to me. So thank you.
Good job. You're very welcome. And I don't want to ruin the synopsis of your story, but can you, in your own words, can you please tell us what the screenplay is about?
So it's about two fast food employees, and their general manager's leaving, and they're competing to become the next manager of the restaurant. But it's in the midst of the wildest chicken sandwich craze. It all takes place in one day. You got a heat wave. You got unruly customers, crazy YouTubers, armed robbers, and the day's kind of about the central character. Her name is Asia, and she's learning about leadership and how to be assertive and how to work with a team. And there's just a lot of wild comedy with it, so it's a lot of fun. It's a good time.
Yeah, it's a good read, man. I like
Thank
this
you.
screenplay a lot, and I'm not afraid to say I use my air fryer for to make chicken sandwiches all the time. And it hits home because for a while there in the world, in the United States of America, there were people using violence to get their chicken sandwiches. I mean, it was crazy for a while there.
Yeah, it was really intense, and I remember back in 2019, it was just all over Twitter, all over the internet. It was a spectacle.
Yeah, insane, man. So this world has got some crazy things going on, but I can understand the chicken sandwich thing. I'm a big fan, and I never get tired of it. But my family will restrict me from eating those more than once a week. But anyway,
Oh,
getting down to business, what is your motivation for writing this screenplay at all? Why did you tell this story?
so it's funny because it all started with the sandwich. It started with when that first weekend came with Popeyes. It felt like the whole world was going there for the sandwich, and I was just so curious. I felt like I really needed to know what the sandwich was about. And when I went, it felt like Disney World. Cars all the way around the block into traffic. You got all walks of life under one roof. And, it was beautiful. It was strange. It was funny. But most importantly, I kind of felt like it was a snapshot of America. And so, it was well worth the wait. I went in for a sandwich and I walked out with the story.
Well, you just
Yeah,
you
it's
just
funny.
that's like that should be your tagline, man. That's awesome. Well, I tell you what, man.
I hope you don't.
What? Go ahead.
I was just going to say, and another thing was I first thought it was just going to be this goofy comedy. But, I did my research and I did my work. And, I really learned that it's more than a sandwich, it's more than a spectacle. It's also a lot about essential workers and restaurant employees and just the struggles they go through. I mean, you can have a single mother that works over 30 hours a week and still can't have enough to support her family. And you have work related injuries, you have wage theft. I mean, less than 15% of fast food employees receive healthcare benefits. So that's when I started to realize the heart of the story. And I said, okay, I want this to help start a conversation about how we treat those who serve us.
It's funny you bring that up because you could have went drama. I'm glad you went comedy with it, and sometimes comedy
Thank
can
you.
translate Yeah, sometimes comedy can translate messages even more effectively than documentaries and dramas because they suck people in with all the fun characters and all the fun things happening.
Yeah, and I just think it's medicine always goes down better with a spoonful of sugar, and it's because sometimes I feel like the struggle as a screenwriter is you want to get your message out, but you want to do it in a way that's also fits with the story and the aesthetic and the rules of filmmaking. And I felt like comedy was a much easier way to kind of get into those themes.
Yeah, good job on that, man. I think you accomplished exactly what you're
Thank
trying to
you.
do. And from the perspective of, let's say, an independent production company looking at your screenplay, what I noticed was it was very doable. Can you talk about that?
Oh, completely. It's completely doable. It's all takes place in one day, in one setting, and I think it's really doable for an independent production company. You have a small major cast, and then you have day players, and I really think it's something you can make on a budget in a short time. And I think there's something to that for the independent film community.
For sure. Well, I hope you have an opportunity to get it made. It's definitely a fun
Thank
ride, and I'd like to see it, man. I know we don't do features at our
you. Thank
at
you.
our festivals right now, but if you're screening it somewhere, I want to come see it. So
Definitely. Someday, man, we'll make it, and I'll be one of the first people I call. You call, man.
thanks. Well, I wanted to ask you, and this is something I ask everyone. Doesn't matter if they're an actor, or a screenwriter, or a director, or any position in the business. But how did you get started writing for film or for production? And it's very specific, right? Like at one point, you're probably somebody with good ideas, but to create something tangible that is a roadmap to make a movie is a huge step. Why did you make that decision, and when did you make that decision?
So ever since I was a kid, I've always had a passion for writing, whether it was write short stories or essays, or even a couple years ago, I wrote a play and wrote and directed it with some friends here. And I just I like acting and I like producing, but I've always felt writing's like home for me. So a couple years ago, I just with some friends, I wrote my first screenplay, Jericho Road, and that's now streaming on Amazon Prime. And that process was so fun. I just thought, hey, why don't I try making a feature? And I love writing because it really helps me to reflect and grow, and just it really helps me, I feel like, be a better person overall. And it's something that really inspires me.
How did you bring yourself to put those first words on paper? And this is what I mean. I talked to someone else, and they said they went through a process in their head, and they said, if you don't write anything down, you don't have anything you can fix, right? And
Right.
what was that? What's your philosophy on that? How do you get yourself to like clear your schedule, open up your calendar and just write?
So I hate to say this because it is a cliche and sometimes it's taken as rude, but it's just right. And it's an old cliche in the writing community, but it's true. Stephen King says it, all the great writers say it is, don't worry about whether it's good or whether you like it. Don't be too self-critical or worry about too much about the market. Just really write what inspires you, even if it's just 2 pages a day. There's something about getting it out on paper and sketching the ideas that the more you feed that fire creatively, the more the project's going to start to come to life. And I think my other thing I would say is write what's personal to you, write what inspires you, because I think a big problem is that we sometimes self-censor and we say, oh, that won't, people won't like that, or that's too controversial. I think you should just really write whatever your muse is taking you to follow that, because the personal is universal. People will see that you put your heart and soul to it, and they'll feel that too.
Wow, that's inspirational. Well, I hope, it's one of
Thank
those
you.
things that I guess that can be applied to almost anything in life. It's like sometimes you got to do a lot less, analyzing, self-censoring, and you just have to go forward and just plunge into whatever it
Mhm.
is because, that's how things get done is by doing. And I wasn't doing these video interviews, a month ago, but I had an idea and I was like, well, let me get a chance to know, the people that have been selected to our festivals a little bit better. And my whole career was as a sound guy. I was a production guy. I was never
Oh,
in
there
front of the
you
camera.
go.
So here
Mhm.
we are, and this is
I
this
think
is
it's
fun.
so. I think it is fun, and I think it's really great because events like Houston really give us a chance to come together as a community. Because I know so many directors and actors that are like, I'm really looking for a project to work on, and I know lots of screenwriters that they're looking for, you know, directors and a team to work with. And so things like Houston and things like these interviews really kind of give us a chance to network and come together and go, we're not alone. We're really in this together. And
Mhm.
once again, I just really want to thank you for that opportunity.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate your time. And before we get out of here, I just wanted a couple more questions.
Uh,
One of them is, what are you working on in the future? What's next for you?
so COVID's ending, and our company, Antrim Road Productions, we're really excited. It's we're getting back to work. We're finishing our festival run for Jericho Road, and that's now on Amazon Prime. And I have two screenplays that I'm writing right now. The first is they're both dark comedies. The first is about dictators and power, because I feel like when you look right now on the international stage, you really see a conflict between democracy and autocracy, especially in the Ukraine. And so I just kind of wanted to write something that could help talk about that and reflect on those issues. And then the second is a little bit more lighthearted. It's about a husband and wife team of con artists, and they've been scamming and grifting for 40 years. And this is the golden years, but the game's changed a little bit. It's different now. Crime's changed, the way that people do conning, and so it starts off as a comedy, and then slowly but surely, it kind of becomes this tragedy about nostalgia and love and kind of what gets us through trauma.
Mm.
And so I'm just excited. We're reconnecting with our team, and we're ready to get back in the game. We're ready to go to work.
All right, that sounds motivating. So I hope you
Thank
wish you the
you.
best of luck with
Thank
your
you, Michael.
projects. Yeah, man, wish you the best of luck with your projects, and I hope they turn out well. Is there anything else you wanted to cover before we leave
Thank
today?
you. Yeah, just once again, I really want to thank you for this opportunity and for the nomination. It really means a lot to me. And really quickly, I just want to give a shout out to Giving Kitchen, Children of Restaurant Employees, Restaurant Opportunity Center, and the Restaurant Workers Community Fund. They're all four nonprofit organizations who, through charity and mutual aid, they're working to help fast food workers and really kind of bring human dignity and human rights to the fast food world. And so, you can go to our Instagram or my Instagram at dawsonroebig.com and get those links. And yeah, I just also want to say I'm really excited for Houston. I can't wait. So it's gonna be a great time.
I look forward to seeing you there next month. Appreciate you taking the time, Dawson.
Thanks, Michael. Of course, man. And thank you. I appreciate it.
You're very,
Take
very
care.
welcome. Take it easy. Bye.